People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. I'm your host, Nancy Guitar. Last name pronounced guitar, like Guy as in ski. That's for those of you who don't get it. My guest today is a very special friend, Eugene Victor. Hi, Eugene.
Morning.
One of the things I like about Eugene is I can ask him any question at all and he'll answer. Something that I really appreciate. Unless he doesn't do that today. No, you wouldn't do that to me, would you?
Oh, no.
Eugene.
Not anyways, because too many witnesses.
Your life has been quite a journey, right? From foster care to being a bodyguard and currently self-employed.
Yes, yeah, quite a life.
Why were you in foster care?
It was part of what they called the 60s scoop. They had residential schools. And then after that, for some reason, they said that it wasn't working or they were getting in too much trouble or something. So they said, well, we'll just take the kids and we'll put them in with non-native homes.
Right.
Because they're trying to assimilate us and take the Indian out of us.
Yeah.
I'm old, so I still say Indian. I don't say First Nations or Aboriginal. I was raised being called an Indian, so I still go by that.
Right. So how old were you when you were put in that foster care?
About 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, that young. Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
I ran away when I was 18.
Oh my goodness. So that's basically your whole young life.
Yeah.
Was it just one family or did you go from family to family? Like, how did that work?
Lots of different homes. I don't even know all of them or remember all of them. I remember hearing them saying that I was in so many that they couldn't count.
That's unbelievable. You know, so much stuff is coming to light currently, right? And the atrocities that were inflicted on you and your people is just unbelievable. Really is. Now yeah.
About what I lived through, it brings a lot of people to tears.
Yes.
And I said, you're crying just hearing about it. I go, I lived it.
Yeah.
And I go, a lot of other First Nations lived through the same or worse.
Right.
And they go, like a lot, like not just a handful, a lot.
A lot. I know. It's just, I mean, wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, the more I hear about it, the more upset I get about it. I get upset at the government, for the residential schools, the church, all of these people. There's so much to account for. And I wonder, will they ever account for it? You know?
They're still barely even admitting to it. And there's so much evidence. There's so much proof. Yeah. And there's so many people that have talked about it. And yet they're still barely admitting to it. Like,
yeah.
The church itself won't even admit or apologize for it.
And there are files or whatever that they won't even release, right?
Yeah. And I go, well, it's one thing to do something wrong, but, to admit it and change is what people want.
Yeah.
Like you could say sorry 100 times and it doesn't mean anything if you keep doing it.
Right.
If you say sorry and then you change or you try to fix it, then that's what makes the difference. But they don't want to do that.
For sure. Yeah. What I want to know is, and I don't know how that would even be a question, but how did, once you ran away and you're away from that, what happened with you? How did that affect you, your life?
Well, actually, it affected me greatly. I've had some real life-changing crossroads. And one of them was when I ran away, because right away I came back to the reserve where I came from.
Okay.
So I was reunited with all of my family, and I literally never knew any of them. And the thing that amazed me was they took me in as if I was there all the time.
Nice.
They didn't even act like I was gone for all those years.
Yeah.
And I go, well, that really showed me a lot and taught me a lot. And then the culture and the traditions we have are so different. and I had to learn all of that. But it was a real life-changing experience because I always felt like I was missing something or something wasn't right, but I didn't know what it was. And then when I came home, the very, very first thing my father did, my real dad,
Right.
was he took me fishing, because that's the way of our people. We're called Stalo people, and that means river people.
Okay.
So he took me fishing, the very first thing he ever did with me. And when we were up there, I go, this is me. This is where I belong. This is what I've been missing all my life. And I was just like, wow, I go, I love this. I go, this is who I am. This is what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know, all the years that I lived with non-native people, it was still inside me. You know, they tried to take it away, but it was still inside me.
Right.
And everything about me stayed true to who I am, even though they tried to take it away. A lot of people that know me, they say, oh, he's just like his dad. Oh, he's just like his dad. And that made me feel so good because I literally never knew my dad.
Yeah.
And then same as, you know, like a lot of Indians have really, really, really funny sense of humor. And I grew up that way, having a real funny sense of humor, and everybody couldn't figure out why I joked all the time. And I also liked giving people nicknames. And that's one of the things I found when I moved home is almost everybody has a nickname. You don't even know their real name. So I go, well, I stayed true to who I really am, even though they tried to take it away.
Yeah. They tried. They sure did try.
Oh, they did. Some of the homes I was in were pretty bad.
I can only imagine, you know, I mean, I can't really imagine. It's just, you know, you hear about the stories, but unless you're, obviously, unless you're there and experience it, you cannot relate. Right?
Well, the residential schools were just horrific. The stories I heard from some of my family and friends and cousins and that, what they went through is just horrific.
Right.
But I lived through the same.
Yeah.
The only difference was in the residential schools, they were with a bunch of other Indians.
Right.
So they were with family or friends, even though they went through horrible times.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the same horrible times, but I was the only Indian in the house. Every school I went to, right up to grade 12, I was the only Indian in every school.
All right. Okay.
So I went through a lot of beatings and fights, and
Yeah.
I went through a lot just in the schools.
So then you started moving on, and you're a young adult, right? And obviously at some point you got out there and started working. And you
Well, right away. I quit school actually halfway through grade 12. I was ready to graduate, but I thought the foster home I was in wasn't right for me. And I would have graduated in June, and then July when I turned 19, they were going to kick me out anyway. So I said, well, I want to go out on my own terms. So I moved out, and within a month I had a job and I had a place to stay. They were paying me good money. They were giving me free room and board. And within 6 months I had a car, and I did everything on my own.
Very good.
I didn't
Yeah.
help me like a lot of young people do, where they could stay home and their parents buy them a car, or parents do this or that for them, or they get a job with their dad. I didn't have any of that.
Right.
I did everything all on my own.
So what were some of the jobs you had?
I worked in a restaurant. I worked on farms. I did a lot of work on farms when I was young because I was in a foster home where they made me run their farm.
Wow.
That was actually one of the reasons I ran away. Is I go, well, they're not paying me to run their farm. I go, I could go work somewhere and get paid to do it. So that was actually one of my first jobs, was working on a farm.
Right. So basically you were slave labor at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of the homes I was in, we didn't get the family allowance or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
All my friends, they go, oh yeah, we get $1 a week or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, we don't get anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I was in one foster home. I went to work every weekend, and I was actually getting $1 an hour, which was a lot considering my friends are getting $1 a week. I was getting $1 an hour, and I saved it up. And my foster mom says, well, give me your money and I'll save it for you. So I said, okay. So then after near the end of the summer, we went on holidays and I said, well, give me some of my money. I want to go buy something. She said, no. She said, you want me to charge you gas money and charge you for going on holiday? She goes, you're not going to go eat stuff in front of the kids. And I go, yeah, well, I worked and saved for it.
Right.
But I didn't even get my money back. She didn't even give it to me. She kept it.
Oh my gosh. You know what I don't understand about the foster care system, I don't know if it's how much has changed that now, but weren't those people like home inspections or anything like that?
They were paid to do what they did to us.
Yeah.
Like
Government sanctioned abuse.
there was other non-native kids in one home I was in. They were allowed to go home for Christmas and stuff like that, but I wasn't.
Wow.
They wouldn't let me ever go home. I went 8 years one time without seeing any of my sisters. And just every year at Christmas, I was stuck in their home. All my other foster brothers and sisters that had non-native parents, they were all allowed to go home at Christmas. I wasn't.
Unbelievable.
So even to this day, I don't really care for holidays.
Yeah.
The one foster home, they used to give us toothbrushes and soap and toothpaste and nail clippers. And they used to give us stuff like that for Christmas.
Will be.
And those are necessities of life, but that's what they gave us for Christmas.
Right. Unbelievable. Really is unbelievable. You know what I find so fascinating? Like I've met you in person and despite all of this, you were a kind, loving person.
Well, that's the same thing that I say about all the people I've met and all the people I know, including my family, that have been through the residential school system or the foster care system, is somehow they got through it and they're not on rooftops shooting people.
Yeah. Good point.
And my favorite cousin, he's passed away. He had the biggest heart I ever seen on anybody ever. And he came and he visited me because he went through the residential school system and he had to go talk to the people that were giving money for their experience.
Right.
So he wanted to tell me what he went through. I couldn't stop crying just hearing what he went through.
Yeah.
And I just thought, he's the nicest, most humble man I ever met.
Right.
And he didn't carry no anger or hatred towards anybody for it. And I thought what he went through is just amazing that he's such a kind, giving, loving person. And a lot of my friends and family that went to residential school or 60 Scoop, they're exactly the same. And it goes to me, we're not all out killing and beating each other for what we went through.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really is, you know. Says something about the hearts of your people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now let's change the subject a little bit because this gets so heavy that really, excuse me. Let's talk about, you worked with Gerald Charlie, right?
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. I actually went to his house yesterday.
That's nice. Yeah. Now I've had him on the show, so I know he's a blues singer and he's very much of a family man. So what were you doing for him?
Oh, he was touring. He has a blues band. It's called Gerald Charlie and Black Owl Blues.
Okay.
And he's very, very good, very popular. And he was touring a lot and he wanted somebody to drive him around and like be his bodyguard and stuff like that. And I don't even remember how we ran into each other, how it worked out, but I like for a year or two, I just ended up traveling with him. And he did a lot of really big shows. He backed up Bo Diddley down in the States.
Awesome.
He stole the show. He actually stole the show.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool.
We got to meet Bo Diddley after the show, so we got pictures of that. And he literally traveled all over singing. And he's really good friends with the guys from Powder Blues Band.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a concert and I did the security for that concert also.
Right.
And I got to meet all of them guys. That was really cool because I've always liked I like the Powder Blues for over 40 years. And then I got to meet them all, and I did security for them. So that was really neat. I was sitting there with them while they're having their breaks. And
Yeah.
but he just traveled a lot, and I just traveled with him doing his security work or his chauffeur, even, or whatever.
During that time, did you ever have any negative experiences, you know, doing security or bodyguard? Was there anything bad that ever happened?
No, funny thing though is when we did Bo Diddley, the announcer came out and he said he doesn't want anybody asking for autographs. He says he doesn't want anybody wanting pictures. He said he doesn't want anybody to try to get pictures or autographs or anything like that of Bo Diddley, or he won't come out or he'll leave. And we thought, wow, he's really stuck on himself. Or so my Gerald did his show, and he just rocked the place. The place just went nuts, and they're trying to give him encores. But when you're the opening act, they don't really like you doing encores because they want the main act.
Right.
But he was getting people wanting an encore and everything. So then when Bo Diddley came out, he is awesome. He is very good, but Gerald still stole the show. So after the show, we were still sitting there. Everybody left. There was just me and Gerald and his band, the Black Hall Blues, and we were just sitting there. And the owner of the hotel came and he goes, "Do you guys want to meet Bo Diddley?" And we're sitting there. Geez, I don't know. You know, he kind of had a funny attitude about no autographs or no pictures. I go, don't know if we want to meet him now. So we thought, yeah, what the heck? Let's go meet him. And we met him, and he was actually really nice, really respectful. I did get autographs with him. I did get pictures with him.
Very good.
He was doodling while we were visiting because he was really interested in Gerald's history because they're both musicians.
Right.
He was doodling, and we didn't know he was kind of an artist. So after he was finished doodling, he actually gave Gerald the picture. So he actually turned out nicer than what they seemed when they said they don't want no autographs or no pictures or no nothing. He let us do all of that. That was the only kind of bad incident, I think. But other than that, everything always went really well. You know, it's the crowd that Gerald attracts. You know, the way he is how the crowd reacts. So.
Right. Yeah. He seems to be a very humble person.
Oh, he is. He is. You know, I found out stuff yesterday when I was visiting him that I didn't even know. And I go, geez, I've known him for a long time and traveled with him and everything. I thought I knew everything about him, but apparently I don't.
Right. Right.
Actually, very, very intelligent. He has his bachelor's degree for teaching and everything.
Cool. Wonderful.
So I go, you're not just a musician, you're actually smart. Well, we were teasing each other quite a bit because that's what Indians do a lot, is teasing and
Right.
teasing.
My family's like that, so I get that. Now let's move ahead to currently you are self-employed, right?
I have a smoked salmon sale business. I've actually been selling fish for 40 something years, but I'm not sure. I can't remember when I decided that I only want to do smoked salmon.
Okay.
So that's all I do now. I don't sell fresh fish anymore, and I only sell smoked salmon. And I've been doing that for quite a while now. And I tell everybody I'm retired or semi-retired, and I just do smoked salmon sales now.
Right.
And it's pretty good business. I make more than enough to live off of.
Good. That's nice. Do you catch your own salmon or do you buy it from somebody else?
I used to catch my own, but I got age and health issues. The age issue kind of snuck up on me. I didn't think I was getting that old, but apparently I. And then I got a little bit of health issues, so I can't catch my own. So now I have to buy it.
Right. So if somebody wanted to buy some salmon from you, how would they go about it?
Well, I put ads all over Facebook advertising my business. It's simply called Smoked Salmon Sales.
Okay. Or they can just look for you, Eugene Victor, on Facebook and contact you that way, right?
Almost anybody or everybody that knows me knows that I'm known for my smoked salmon.
Well,
so
I didn't know that.
When they don't know that, I'm surprised. I'm like, don't you know me or haven't you heard of me? I go, everybody knows that that's what I'm known for. It's like Gerald, he's known for his blues band.
Yeah.
It's soon as you say Gerald Charlie, right away you think of his blues band. So I'm like that with Smoked Salmon.
So that's what I love about doing this is I'm just learning all this stuff, right? So for me, it's also wonderful, you know.
Well, it's like people I know that know you. They go, "Oh, the interview lady."
Seriously?
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that because I mentioned that I was doing this interview, and they go, oh yeah, the interview lady."
I have to tell you that I'm always surprised when people recognize me. It always surprises me. I don't expect it. I don't know. I've been doing this for 5 years, but I don't expect it because I'm quite shy on my own outside of when I'm doing this show. Anyway, so this has been so awesome. Eugene, I really, really appreciate you doing with me. And you know how I feel about you, right?
Yeah.
So just hang on while I say goodbye to the audience, okay?
Okay, thank you for the interview and your time.
Just stay there. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed listening to Eugene, and more importantly, heard his story and what went on and what's still going on to the people, First Nations people. This really, we have to get after the government and the church to stop this. So anyway, hope you see you next time. Until then, peace out, everyone. Now we're gonna find the off button.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.